wonderful Up You community. Welcome to your weekend program, Up You with Ezinne. How are you? How are you all enjoying the second weekend in May? You know, in Lagos, it's a show up weekend. Today is the AMVC. Yay! If you know, you know. But more importantly, how did you show up for yourself last week? And how are you showing up for yourself today? Showing up is a daily affair, not a start, stop, start again kind of thing. It's a daily affair. That's right. So all through this May, we talk about the power of presence, the act of showing up, the principles of showing up, etc. and etc. If you want to know how to make your presence felt, how to get a seat at a table, and how to negotiate for the things that you want. In short, if you want to know how to show up for your dreams, your goals, and much more, then stay tuned to Up You with Ezinne all through May. We're continuing on the new series today, and our discussion topic is Woman, define yourself, show up. Who are you? A simple on the surface question, yet a very deep question. Who are you? It's easy to start retorting, I'm Ezinne Kufre Ekanem. Yeah, we know that. That's your name, all right? But who are you? I'm a woman. Yeah, again, that's your gender. But who are you? This question is one that puts the searchlight on the inside rather than on the outside. It requires deep reflection. If you get it right, you show up confidently. If you get it wrong, you continue to second-guess yourself, your motives, your calling, and even your very existence if care is not taken. It was Pythagoras that said, man, know thyself, and then you will know your what, and then you will know your God. It's our hour on radio, and I'm here to keep you company as usual. So let's do this, my beautiful people. Finding self, finding purpose. My name is Ezinne Kufre Ekanem, and I'm your host. So how do you define yourself? By other people's standard and expectations, or by circumstances surrounding you? Do you really know who you are? If you're just joining us, this is Up You with Ezinne, and the topic is Woman, define yourself and show up. It's time to write a powerful definition statement of who you are based on who your creator says you are, and read it aloud to yourself every day until you believe it and become it. Today, our guest is in the studio, ready to show up for herself. The question is, are you, my dear listeners, my dear Up You family, are you guys ready? Our guest today is Mrs. Omotola Ade-Onojobi, a professional life coach, entrepreneur, and etiquette consultant. She is the founder of True MVNG, a graduate of business administration from the Olabisi Onabanjo University. She created the Complete 360 Woman, a platform that helps women discover, tap into, and connect with their inner beauties and power to achieve their greater purpose in life using self-awareness as a tool. Omotola has obtained certifications as a life coach and emotional life coach from the Transformational Academy, Florida, USA. She's also a certified business for social media and certified early childhood psychology consultant. She has impacted lots of women across Nigeria, Ghana, Uganda, London, Australia, and the Netherlands as a speaker and coach on international platforms. Omotola is happily married to a king and blessed with two amazing princes. Whoa! Good evening, Omotola. How are you today?
Good evening. I am fine, thank you.
It's really, really wonderful to have you on the show.
Yes, it's good to be here. Thank you so much.
Oh, wow. She sounds really, really pleasant. What do you guys think? Okie dokie. Welcome, Omotola. I am pleased to have you on the show. And just before we kick up, I'll just go to the back end, so that we can kick up without distractions. Welcome back. So let's set the stage for our discussion today. Omotola, you're so pretty.
Thank you so much.
Wow.
You are beautiful too.
Oh, thank you. I've been telling them that in the studio, I had to make the engineer on duty tell me that I'm beautiful.
They better believe it.
Okay, let's go. Could you please tell us, start by telling us your perspective and understanding of the topic, woman, define yourself, show up.
Okay, so for me, a woman who has defined herself is a woman who is aware, a woman who is mindful of herself, of her existence, of who she is, the power that she has, that God has deposited in her as a woman. She is not afraid to be who she really is. She is a woman who is intentional about, her goals, her dreams, and, she's intentional about going for it. She has a purpose. Everything she's doing, she has a purpose for everything. And for me, a woman who has defined herself is a woman that has been able to set her personal boundaries. She knows what she wants to take, what she doesn't want to take. I grew up with a saying in my dialect, say, "Nkoto bale gba lolowo, talika lo ti ma ko." What you cannot take when you are wealthy, you start refusing it when you are poor. So it has helped me, on my awareness journey to define myself, to set my personal boundaries. And I feel that a woman that has been able to define herself should be able to, set personal boundaries for herself. And also, a woman that has successfully defined herself is a woman that is not afraid to live in an authentic self. What do I mean by in her authentic self? I mean, she is not bound by any limiting belief. She is not bound by religious beliefs. She is not bound by societal beliefs. She is not bound. She is free in her mind, and she is living in her true self, a happy, purposeful, fulfilled life.
Thank you so much. It has happened again, guys. Someone gets the topic and the person comes here and it's as if the person has x-rayed my brain and my mind. Oh my goodness. Omotola,
yes,
thank you. So a woman who has broken all biases.
Yes, so
a woman that has set personal boundaries.
Yes.
A woman who knows she's a woman,
yes,
who loves being woman,
yes,
who has no apologies for being woman, and who is ready to excel as a woman.
Exactly.
Thank you. Okay. Now, having set the stage, could you define yourself, Omotola Ade-Onojobi, so that myself and the listeners can see an example of your explanations?
Okay. For the past years, I've been on this awareness journey, and a lot of people know me as Spicy Mama. Wow. Because that is what I have defined myself as to people around me. So a lot of people call me True Envy because as first what they know me as Omotola True Envy, then it's graduated to Omotola Spicy Mama. And that is because I have a community called Spice of Life. And Spice of Life is a community of, people that, we are people of varieties. We are not bound by anything. We are just, we discuss social issues, and any social issues, as long as it's a social issue, we are discussing it. So everybody calls me the mommy of the house. So they're like, Spicy Mama, Spicy Mama. So I have been able to embrace that. And honestly, there was a day I was actually thinking about it, like, this thing is making me feel like a mommy already. And I just thought about it. Variety is a spice of life. And I looked at myself, I'm a woman of variety. I can be a mom now, then the next minute I'm a girlfriend. And the next minute I'm someone's wife. You understand? So I have been able to, I'm not bound by anything. I am just being myself, spicy.
Okay, so she's Omotola spicy mama. So I guess Ezinne Opu mama, right?
Yes, now you.
Okay. All right. Let me just quickly open the phone line so that people can actually introduce themselves to us and tell us how they're defining themselves. So the phone lines to call is 07000 917 917. The number to text is 070 317 56537. And this is Ezinne Opu mama talking to you. Omotola, I like the way you define yourself. You define yourself by your brand.
Thank you, ma'am.
We also know that it's possible for a woman to also be her brand. It's good to embody your brand. You know, how one defines oneself determines the kind of brand that the person is. You know, if I wasn't sitting in here with you and I was listening to you and I heard you say you're spicy mama, I'm going to be saying, oh, she must be all kinds of fun. She must be all kinds of hot, cold, you know, all kinds of taste or something, you know, pepperish, pepperoni, pepper them gang kind of thing, you know, deep, wide, you know, you never know what to expect kind of person, you know. Yeah. So what should our listeners consider in defining their brand statement? Because, you know, I may not meet you. Many of our listeners may not meet you, but they just listen to you and they will go away with an impression of what your brand is all about. What should they, you know, look at in fine-tuning it so they don't just choose a name or something?
Okay. I like to use myself as an example.
Definitely.
So how did I come up with, first of all, True Envy, which is the mother brand of all these other brands that I have. I grew up not having so much friends, and I realized that somehow I kind of be the one that stands out amongst, you know, people around me. So, you know, it stirs up a lot of envy. And I really do not know how to handle it. Like, I'll just be in a place and I'll just be doing my thing, and the next thing someone is giving me negative energies and I'm like, oh, what's going on here? So one day, my husband, then who was my boyfriend, you know, he was just like, this is envy, at least you should see it. I'm like, I don't know it. So I thought of having a brand though. And then we just started envy, envy mama. Like, I'm like, don't say that. But you know, as time goes on, I realized that, okay, envy is not just about negative things. It's about, you know, you being in a place and then you are the envy of others. You are, you know, you are that person that people want to be like. You are that person that influence people. So I turned into something positive, and then before I knew it, True Envy came up. So I call myself the True Envy. And I've lived by that over time, because whenever I get to a place, my energy just overshadows the whole place. So
you guys are not going to know why we're laughing. Maybe when you get to see the video, you understand the laughter. Go ahead.
So, going back to the question, how do you define your personal brand as a woman? First, you need to define yourself. Who are you? Not just you being a woman or a wife or a mother or that manager, whatever you are. You know, who are you? Just close your eyes for some minutes, you know, take a journey through memory lane. You know, look at how your life has been, you know, what has been consistent in your life, you know, and see, even if it is a negative thing, you know, turn it into something more positive. If it is you going through a lot of heartbreaks by people, how can you use it into something more positive? Okay, I've learned over time that you turn your pain into purpose. You know, your pain can end up being your envy for a while, because it was a pain for me. I had to turn it into something more positive. So you first need to define who you really are. And then after that, you can now then go into setting a healthy boundaries for yourself, for your personal brand. A lot of people, they don't have boundaries. You just let people gbas you anyhow and, talk down on you, demean you. And, you lose a lot of energy. You lose a lot of, self-esteem in that process. Don't do that. Set healthy personal boundaries for yourself. When people see that, this person, even to herself, she doesn't take nonsense, how much more another person? By that, you are building a personal brand for yourself, because first, you've been able to do the work of defining yourself, defining clearly your own boundaries that you yourself, you cannot cross. After that, another thing you need to do is you need to set values. You need to know your values. What do you stand for as a person? Are you an integrous person? Are you honest with yourself? Okay, because trust me, I believe that you cannot give what you don't have.
True.
So if you're going to build a personal brand, it is what people will see. That brand is what people will see. So the first thing is you need to build that brand first within yourself. Then you take it out into the externals. So all these things come together to make you, not just you, but also is going to reflect on anything you are doing. Not just your business, but also your family, your children, your husband, everything you are doing, your career, because you've been able to do it to yourself first. Thank you.
Wow. We're laughing. We're laughing because the brand that she has built was showing forth and merging with the woman that is speaking. And so I was like, this is brand merger. And as she spoke, I was like, this is brand consistency. And then, the way I say it in my own corner of the world is, those dreams you had as a girl, those dreams you had when you were in the uni, those dreams you had growing up, those things we used to play that time. You say, I like to be an air hostess. I like to be a radio presenter. Then way back when I was growing up, we don't call them OAP, radio presenter. And now we know, I want to, be this and be that. You might think you were just doing wishful thinking.
Exactly.
But that's where to start from. What happens is that we grow up, we get married, life happens, we have children, responsibilities come, and we take what is available, not what we really wanted. Anybody who knew me growing up will know that I always said I wanted to be on radio, and it took me almost all my life to finally find myself here. So you need to define yourself. Define yourself. Who are you? Honestly, if you haven't answered that question, you better tune in now if you're not tuned in. Now, I was going to ask you how you came about through envy, but you already beat me to it. So I like that name. The first time I saw it, I was like, oh yeah, you can actually positively say to someone, I envy you, without it being negative. Mm-hmm. I envy you the fact that with everything you're going through, you're still able to study and get a doctorate or a master's degree program. I envy you that, you've had 5 children and you don't look like you've had 5 children.
Exactly.
The kind of envy that propels you to want to do more for yourself.
Exactly.
So I was like, this name is spot on. But tell us about it.
Okay, so in my early 20s, I always wanted to model. I love modeling. In fact, you see there my body.
You do. After 2 sons, you look like a model.
Yes, you see there my body. So I've always loved modeling. So like what you said, the things that we wanted to be as young girls. I remember that then. In fact, anytime my dad buys newspaper, that's the only place I want to go to where they are casting models. I watched how they crowned Agbani Darego.
Oh my God.
It was beautiful.
Oh my God.
And I just wanted to model. And I failed woefully at it. One, my height. Secondly, I would fidget a lot. I didn't have confidence at all that I could, be a crowned queen. So, I just wanted to be a queen. And then I remember that was the last pageant I went for. My husband said, you are not supposed to be crowned queen, but you're supposed to train queens. And at that time, I was like, okay, maybe it's time for me to, put all this knowledge that I have into women, into young girls that wanted to, go for this dream and could actually, have the height, have everything to go for it. So I stopped modeling, and I would train models. I would go for train them for pageants and all that, and they usually turn out beautiful. And from there, I loved it. That was where True Envy actually started from, until someone told me, you can start grooming children, to be models. And that was just where it started from my love for modeling and wanting to, put this knowledge into people. So after a while, I deviated into etiquette for children. And I just wanted, children to be more well-mannered, So I trained for it. I studied early childhood psychology because I wanted to know how children think and how they learn. So that was what made me go into early childhood psychology, because I wanted to know their learning patterns. And then from there, I went into learning etiquette. My etiquette training, I was self-taught. I would go online, read books upon books upon books, and that was how I became an etiquette coach for children. But I realized that schools weren't even giving us the opportunity to impart this knowledge into children. So how did I just wanted to, find a means to get to children. So I started, selling children's shoes. At least by there, I will get my access. So when they buy shoes, when their parents buy shoes for them, I'll just, quickly chip it in. Oh, we do etiquette training for your kids. You can, and then I'll just tell them, won't you say thank you to mommy? Oh, thank you, mommy. And then from there, that was where I started Spice of Life community, and the brand just continued to expand from there.
Well done. What I'm hearing here is tenacity. Tenacity. From being a model to going to becoming a model groomer, to going to becoming a child groomer, to teaching herself etiquette, to starting to do something that will make her come in contact with children just because she wants to impact. When you are meeting a need, you will always have traffic to whatever it is you're doing. My guest today seems to have defined herself very well and has very many vehicles of expressing the same thing, over and over again. But don't give up on that modeling. You still look good. And parameters are changing right now in the world. There are all kinds of pageants, So I'm sure you find pageants for moms, where they are not saying you have to be this tall and that tall. Never say never. You never can tell. Okay? All right. So now you said you failed at it. You seem to be leading me on nicely. So now, the fact that you failed once, does that make you a failure? Because you see, most women, most humans even, when they fail at something, they use that thing to define themselves. Okay, so you were married, and then your marriage failed. And so you say, I'm a failure. Yeah, I failed at marriage. Or, you started a business and your business failed. And so you say, I'm a failure. So my question is, the fact that you failed at something, does that make you a failure? Or put in another way, what makes one a failure really?
Okay, thank you for that question. What makes you a failure is your inability to learn. Learn from your past failure and move on. my Yoruba people will say, I can't remember the adage, but it's like when a horse falls you down doesn't mean you shouldn't climb it again anyways. But when you fail at something, yes, the insecurity, the inner critic voice, everything will just jam and tell you, oh, you are not meant for this, you're not supposed to do this, you are not worthy of having this thing, you can never be successful. That voice will literally tell you that. You will hear it loud. And the sad thing is, you will not even just hear it in your head. People will even tell you, some will even tell you that, why not just quit, right? But what makes you a failure is when you actually listen to those voices and let them take control of your mind. So how do you come out from your failure? I don't even see it as failure. When I see it as mistakes. When I make a mistake at something, I look at, okay, where did this error come from? Okay, it's from here. Okay, so we start again and then we make it better. In fact, we see it. One thing is, it is okay for you to, retract, okay? Reflect on what you've done. Reflect on it. Okay, so where did this error come from? Look at it. Take some time to re-strategize. Go back to your drawing board. Re-strategize. Plan again. Set goals. And then go for it. Okay? And then you keep at it till you actually achieve success. I can tell you that it is not easy. It is not easy, but trust me, when you do it consistently, that is what they call consistency. Consistency is not just you doing things over and over, but it is you knowing that, okay, when you fail at something, I can still go back to it and make it better. Thank you.
Thank you, Omotola. Failure is not final, and success even is not final.
Yes.
Like I say to people when I speak to them, I'll say something like, cleaning is what you do, but you are not a cleaner. Mm-hmm. You can't define yourself by things that happen around you. Yes, your marriage may have failed, but you're not a failure.
At all.
You probably, most likely got into a marriage with a mismatched partner for whatever reasons, So your business folded, it doesn't make you a failure.
At all.
It doesn't even depend on anything. Why did the business fail? You take the learnings from there, and then when you do find the courage to start again, you do it better. Mm-hmm. If Thomas Edison called himself a failure, we wouldn't have light. We have all the things that we have today.
Exactly.
So failure is a bend in the journey, So, of course, if you're driving your car, for instance, and then you come to a bend, you're not going to say, oh, this is a bend. I don't know what I'm going to see there, so I won't continue the journey. No, you take the bend, and because you're going to see far, but you take the bend, believing that the road continues. And then when you come out of the corner, you'll see that the road stretches ahead of you.
Exactly.
So the rest of your life is ahead of you. So you are not a failure, woman. Whatever you're going through, up yourself. Redefine yourself again. Because we haven't sometimes taken care to define ourselves. We answer to any name that comes. So that's why I like what you said about setting boundaries. You set your boundaries, you define your values, what you will take and what you won't take.
And another thing is, when you have been able to, go on this journey in defining yourself, see, when you not even encounter, because you've known everything, you've been able to differentiate the inner critic in you and then your guardian voice. When you've been able to differentiate that your inner voice, which speaks the truth with you, that shows you the truth. I call that voice the Holy Spirit. Mm-hmm. I call that voice the Holy Spirit for me. So when I've been able to differentiate that, it helped me even when it looks like I'm failing at something. I get some inner peace within myself that helps me, gives me energy at the long run to go on, pick up myself and go on. And another thing that actually helps me not even dwell in whatever, the hurt of, failure is gratitude. At least gratitude of what I have now, what I've been able to achieve now. Okay, so that helps, that gives me, or let me say, it propels me to want to try again, because I am grateful that, okay, at least I've been able to do something now. Okay, I can do it better, and I'm grateful for what is to come.
Thank you for that. That's quite deep. Gratitude. Listeners, the numbers to call is 07000917917, and the number to text is 07031796537. We're still expecting you while we are having our conversation. Define yourself and then show up. There's this word that is being thrown about everywhere you turn. You even used it today. Intentionality. What has intentionality got to do with how you define yourself and how you show up? For instance, I know you're going to be at the AMVCA today.
Yes.
So how intentional are you in defining the brand showing up to it? Hello, good evening. UpyouwithEzinne. Good evening. Who is speaking?
I get this program.
Thank you.
When you pay for something, it's not feel like it's for you to learn lessons and move forward.
Yes.
When you do something you success, that one don't mean say you perfect.
Mm-hmm.
But for the people to learn lessons, so that people when they see say if they will not make that, they will be taught.
Yes.
That's the I know for those programs.
Thank you. I didn't get your name. Can I get your name?
Okay, I'm sorry to Sasha.
Oluwatoyin, this is for you. Thank you. That was a lovely contribution. She says, even if you're succeeding, it doesn't make you the best. And even if you're failing, it doesn't also make you the worst. You just show gratitude for whichever and then continue from where you are with whatever you have. Thank you. Women are getting it. Oh, we give it up for the women again. Okay, so intentionality.
Okay, so you said something about AMVCA.
Oh yes, because I know you're heading there.
Well, I've planned, in fact, since January, February, March. Since March. I've been planning for AMVCA since March.
Oh my goodness.
Before they even set the date.
Oh my God. If that isn't intentionality, then I don't know what is.
In fact, I had to keep up with my friend, like, babe, how far are we still going? I was still going for AMVCA. Like, yeah, sure, we're still going, And I've been, intentional about, the people, like, call concerning it, like, are we still going? How about our tickets, So intentionality is something doing something with purpose, okay, with intent of a result, okay. You are being mindful. What does it mean to be mindful? You have your mind, right? So you put your mind in things. You put your mind, you are focused, okay. So it's not just about throwing the word around and saying, oh, be intentional, but have you also been able to practice it on yourself? How intentional are you? Let's just even come to our normal daily routine. How intentional are you with your daily routine? Okay, what do you do? Are you intentional with, with your goals? How are you achieving those goals that you set for yourself? Are you intentional about them, in achieving them? So it's not just about, it's not just about throwing the word around, okay? And, how can you tap into being intentional? It goes with, it starts with you knowing what is going on with your body. What do you do with your body in the first place? Are you intentional? Are you taking care of yourself? What's your self-care routine? A lot of us, she's looking at me.
I'm breathing very hard on you.
You know, a lot of us are so used to, we are intentional about caring for people around us, and then we forget to be intentional with ourselves.
Isn't that a lot of most women?
Well, it happens to a lot of us. In fact, it still takes a lot of intentionality to, even for me as the person talking to you, to still focus on myself. Sometimes I say, nah, today we are doing self-care. You understand? So it takes a lot of mindfulness. Okay, and trust me, the moment you start with these little things, or those things we call little, being intentional about. In fact, to the point of what are you eating? Are you intentional about your food? Are you being mindful about the things
she's shaking this table.
that goes into your mouth? Okay, look, so
those of us that will eat gala on the road and drink Coke as we are going. She's shaking this table. Do we just let her go off the program?
Well, I think we're going to finish this program before I go, right? So, the thing is, I was talking to my awareness journey clients some days back, because we are focusing on our bodies this month. And, I told them, I said, see, we have 5 sense organs. And if you really want to connect with your bodies, you need to connect with these 5 sense organs. We all know the 5 sense organs, right? Your eyes,
sight,
your
taste,
yes,
emotions, psychological makeup.
I actually, that's advanced. I had to bring it down.
Okay. Your eyes, your ears, your tongue,
exactly.
Your hands, and your nose.
Exactly. I had to, come down to our level. And I told them, I said, see, you need to start being very mindful of these your sense organs, because they do a lot of work in connecting with your body and connecting with your mind, because your body is your vessel that carries your consciousness, and you need to be very mindful about it, what goes on within it.
Okay, so I have a question here for you from the WhatsApp platform. This question is from Obi. Obi is writing from Isolo. Obi says, oh my God, she's a funny one. Bobby says, how do you silence the critic in your head? Because every time I define myself, my own head would tell me, Mbeke. No, I can't help but laugh. Okay, so what Bobby is trying to say is that after she defines herself, I don't know how she defines herself, but something in her head tells her, look at you, who do you think? Are you sure you're defining yourself? So how do you silence the critic in your head?
Okay, so I learned in one of the movies that I watched recently that the more you step out of your comfort zone, the louder the voice of the critic in your head. So, sister, first of all, you need to know how these things work. He's our enemy. I'm not allowed to use some words on radio. So I will not use that word. But you know that best friend that doesn't really like you, that she's a hater, right? That's how the inner critic voice is. So you need to learn the activities of it. So the first thing is know first that for you to be hearing that voice in your head, you are doing something right. Okay, you are doing something right. You are stepping out of your comfort zone, and the more you step out, the more you hear that voice. So how do you silence that voice? First of all, you need to affirm positive words to yourself. Okay.
Oh, brilliant.
You need to affirm positive words to yourself. So imagine if you are doing something well, and then that thing tells you, oh, you didn't, you just messed up. You tell, no, I didn't mess up. I did it, and I've done it, and I am doing great at it, and I'm going to be amazing at this. So that is why they always say that it is good for you to have affirmations. Positive self-talk. What are you telling yourself every day? Have these things that pops up maybe on your phone or wherever you write it. Maybe you pasted it on your wardrobe or something that you wake up to, that helps you to, it helps your mind to see positive things about yourself. So in doing that, even when that voice, because trust me, I will tell you the truth, that voice is not going to be silenced as long as you're doing amazing things with your life, as long as you are stepping out of your comfort zone, you are not going to stop hearing that voice. So the best way is positive affirmations, positive self-talks. Thank you.
And I'm just going to take that as our last word. To every woman out there who wants to define herself, to enable her show up for her dreams. The voices will keep coming, but you've got to learn to shut it up. Yes, they only come because you're doing something good. That's why you need to set for yourself a very powerful I am statement. I am Ezinne Kufre Ekanem. I am a go-getter. I am one person who nothing dies in her hands. You go on and affirm yourself over and over and over. And then you say it to yourself as many times as you need to say it to yourself until you become it. I am are two very powerful words that every woman should employ. What you say after the I am should be something that makes you want to show up. Omotola, 1 hour isn't enough. It's up already. So we're going to do this again. All right? Yeah. And so that we can continue, because there's so much you have to give. You were even just not even bringing out everything. So, we're going to do a repeat, probably next week.
Okay,
ma'am. We'll firm it up and then we'll do a repeat of this, because we need to get it. If we get this, if we define ourselves properly, then we show up. Short notice.
Yes, sir.
So I'm just imagining you now. What color of dress are you wearing tonight?
I'm wearing all white.
We have to take a picture because I'm going to wear all black.
Okay.
So we have to take a black and white picture, right?
Yes.
So we're going to show up, and it's not just going to be, nice meeting you, long time no see. We're going to network, right?
Yes.
We're going to talk about what we do.
Yes.
Who we are.
Of course.
And then walk away with a few business cards.
Yes.
Aha.
It's
you
already
get it.
In my purse.
So you show up. You define yourself.
Exactly.
Then you show up. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So, my dear listeners, it's an inner work. It's a self-work. It's something you do on the inside so that you show up properly on the outside. All right? There's so much. So there's going to be a part 2 to this. Can you imagine? This is our first series that is going to have a part 2. So there's going to be a part 2 to this, So because it's important and we have to do it very well. So please define yourself or redefine yourself, and then please show up. Do not let anything stop you from showing up for yourself and for the life that you want. What's the point of living a life that is short of what the fullness that you can actually have? Where I come from, my religion tells me that he came to give me life in fullness and in abundance. Okay. So if I'm not living in fullness and in abundance, I'm shortchanging myself, and that's not right. So please, all you ever wanted is possible. If you can think it, you can become it,
Exactly.
So you can imagine she started planning since March for something that is going to just happen tonight, So remember, if you can think it, you can achieve it. It's all embedded there in your heart. Kick out that imposter in your head telling you that you can't, because you can. This is where we wrap up today on Up You with Ezinne. It's been another amazing one. Please follow us on Instagram, Facebook at Up You with Ezinne. Get copies of our books, Up You and When Adversity Strikes, Fight. Thank you very much. Big up to everyone involved in creating this magic every week. Starting with you, our dear listeners, our guests, our advertisers, the callers, the engineers on duty, the amazing Up You team, my producer Taiwo, and the best radio station WFM 91.7. You all stay strong, stay blessed, stay lifted. My name is Ezinne Kufre Ekanem. Until next time, up you. Don't forget to show up for yourself. Bye for now.